Here's what I plan on using for the oil change today. See there, hopefully on your left, filter, 2 rubber gaskets which will be oiled and replace the old ones. The red unit at the back is a torque wrench that I add to my just regular socket wrench, which makes things easy. In the middle there is a 6mm hex bit, which is how we're going to break free the drain plug. In front of that, a 36mm socket, which will help us get the filter housing off. There are other ways of doing it with different wrenches and whatnot, but for $7, if I'm going to do it more than once, it's worth buying. A little bit of light and some rubber gloves. The oil at the back, obviously, that's what I choose. I know that these cars tend to burn quite a bit of oil, and I may explore the Liqui Moly or Motul 5W40s, but for the time being, this is what I have on hand, and works in my Porsche, so if it's good enough for that, I think it'll be okay for the Audi too. All right, let's get on with the job. First step is to get the car airborne, so hopefully we don't take out those lights at the front there, but we'll see what happens here. Got it set on the pinch weld blocks, so it should be nice and snug there. Yep, should have taken that off. Alright, it's in the second position here, so we'll back it down. Alrighty. It's making some noise, we'll have to check that out, but it should be set back on the cam locks down here, or on the locks. Cams can be released when we take it off. But now we're airborne, we can go to work. I'm going to start by freeing up the filter here. That's just the 36mm socket I showed you up earlier. So now that's hand ready. And this car did have a run today, so it is warm. And then we're going to loosen this cap, or take it off I should say. We'll set that over there for now. So when we do release the drain plug, there's no pressure or vacuum in there preventing the oil from getting out. With that said, we gotta go take the belly pan off, find that drain plug, get the goodies set up to capture it, and go on to liquefy phase. Here, gotta get this belly pan off to get access, and there's a combination of torques, and this is a T, what is this one? Come on. I can't even read it, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna guess it's a 25 or a 30. I think it might be a little small, so I bet you could use a T30. So, I'm just gonna pull all these guys out and free up the belly pan. So in addition to the Torx screws, there are these basic Phillips heads. And there's a good handful of those. And once you've got those, the belly pan's just gonna kind of drop. So hopefully you can see I'm supporting it with my hands. And we'll just get that guy out of the way. And as if by magic, here appears our oil pan. And we're just gonna let this guy go. Get this thing releasing. So that oil is super hot because it had a run this morning. So gonna be super careful and even still likely burn myself because that's what I do. So here's the drain plug, 6mm hex. Get it good and seated in there so you don't strip anything. And then see that quick crack? So now I'm nervous because I know this is probably too hot for me to do, so get ready to call 911. See if I can just go a little quicker and get out of the way, but that would be a first too. That's nice. Come on, let go. All right, there it goes. Man, that is first. While it is splashing, it's not like completely out of control. So that's a bonus. I'll keep the, oh, there we go. Now we're getting the problems. Hopefully I didn't get you too much in the shot, and then we'll just have to do a little cleanup on the overspray, but nothing too serious. So now we'll let that free flow there for a good 10 or 20 minutes. Let it all get out, and then we'll replace the new crush washer once we've cleaned up this guy. Nope, not sure what you're looking at, sorry. And we'll go on to the next part of the new filter while that's all happening. So I've set a towel down here because there's likely to be some mess as we pull this guy out. Just gonna free the rest of this filler, the cap. See the filters coming out with it. And you know what, I'm gonna put some blue towel down as well. Just set it right on there. Okay. All right. So here's the filter itself. Just pull it out here. It sits on a whole unit here. There's two components to be concerned with or be mindful of. You won't be able to see it, but just be mindful. There is a gasket here with a smaller, thinner rubber gasket. You need to just get a screwdriver in there, pry that off. And then in here, it's gonna be tricky to see, but there's a little lip on another rubber gasket that lives in here. So you get a little needle nose, pull that out and replace it with a new one. Both of those should be sealed in oil, ideally new oil, but I don't think it really probably matters. The lubrication's what you need to in order to get a good seal. So I'm gonna situate, see how this is, I just greased this up, got a little bit of the new oil and just rub my fingers through it. It's gonna sit in it's pretty obvious where it sits. It might be difficult for you to see, but it more or less falls in place. The only thing to remember is to keep this little tab facing up so you can get a good grab on it next time you or someone else is in there. This little guy is just gonna wrap around the rim and in here. And there's a little channel that it sits in, so it almost falls into place as well. So those two things are in. Here's the filter. Push it on so it clicks in, so it won't fall when you, it's kind of like, what do they call those things at DQ? Anyway, whatever they're called, it's one of those. And then it's time to just be gentle when you start threading because you don't want to cross thread anything. And then on the lid it says 25.5 Newton meters of torque. I'm gonna get my torque tool out, and then I think I can do Newton meters, but if you do foot pounds, I think it's about 19 foot pounds, give or take. So not super tight for sure. I really like this little tool I just picked up. Certainly not sponsored, but I do want to recognize cool when I see it. So I set it to 18.5 foot-pounds. Gonna drop it on there. And then you can, oh, it's turned around, but it actually gives you a reading as it's turning, which is really slick. And then you hear that sound? See, I went to 20 foot-pounds, probably broke the whole car. Just kidding, should be fine. And that's that. So let's go underneath, see how the drainage is going, and put a drain plug back in with a new crush washer, and then get topside and drop in 7 quarts. All right, so I'm gonna set the torque here, my little torque unit, to 22 foot-pounds, as per specs found on one of the forums. Give this a good clean here. It's gonna be a little post-fact clean as well, because it's just a tiny trickle. It's probably been 20 minutes or so since we started the release. So I'm just gonna start it with this, since it's playing messy burgers. Just be mindful not to force it into a cross thread situation. I know I should be wearing gloves, so I also know I'm not. Just sweaty hands and all. All right, so got it hand tight. Do a little bit more cleanup here. Tell you what, a valuable tool with this job has been the shop towels. So that's pretty clean there. So let's throw the torque wrench on. It's reading at 16 and 20 and 21 and 21 and a half, 22. All right. So that's done. We'll go up top now and get some new oil in there. Complete the circle here, go into the MMI, check the oil level. I put in exactly 7 quarts and it's maxed out. Not sure if that's because it's a 7.2 quart tank or if there was some residual in there, but I did let it drain for a while, so that's probably not the case. So that concludes the Audi S5 oil change. All is well in the world. Take care, everyone. Please, if you like this, subscribe, share, comment. And if you've got any other tips or tricks, I'd love to hear about them. Catch you next time.